It's me, RachaelLyn, and today is Financial Friday, and it's time for my budget. This is April's budget report, and so here we go. Let's start over here with my notes section. I've got a lot of notes this month. First of all, I upped my budget. I have extra gas money, spending money, restaurant money due to extra traveling and just extra income this month and extra traveling in order to get that extra income. Next up is church. I forgot in March to leave my last church / tithe. It's not exactly a tithe, it's my church giving. I forgot to leave that in the bank on the last day of the month because the month ended over the weekend, and I forgot to leave that $25 in there for that week, and that comes out automatically, and so it still came out, and I just decided to put that onto April's budget since I forgot about it in March. Next up is the library. So I have been saving some money by checking books out from the library for my book club that I am in, and it's really helped save quite a bit of money just in the last couple months because we do a book a month, and we're on our third book, and so far I've only spent 20 cents, and that's only because I had a fine because I didn't renew it in time, and I need to remember to renew my library books. But that 20 cents came out of my cash, and any cash that I spend does not go in my budget. I actually use my debit card and all of that on all of my purchases, except for very rarely I actually use some cash. And I do that mainly because I know that studies show that you spend less with cash, but I'm pretty good about staying in budget, and I do that because I make a lot of purchases online, and I also make probably the majority of my purchases are online, and then I also borrow from sometimes if I'm a little short on spending money, I might borrow some grocery or restaurant money because I don't often go over in those budgets. So it's just easier for me to keep track of everything and readjust my budget on here rather than with cash. It just makes more sense to me. Plus, if it is something that I use my card for, I have a record of it, where it was, when it happened, and most of the time I would remember what it was for. But if it's cash, I don't save those receipts. A lot of times there's cash that's spent that I don't get a receipt for, and it just is too confusing. So anything that's cash is free money for me, basically. Also, diet bets. You'll see down here in my income in just a moment that I actually have $100 for future diet bets because I had to cash out all of my diet bet winnings, and I wanted to keep $100 in there for future diet bets that I'll start later in the month of May, but I had to cash it all out. It didn't give me an option to just do some of it, so at least not when I clicked on it. I couldn't figure out how to keep money in there, so I took it all out because I had to. Okay, so coming down here, my income for this month, I had my bi-monthly paycheck is always $1124.41. I had Capital One interest from March. I got $1.06, and that will keep being more and more each month, because I'm going to keep adding more and more money every month. This is Keeneland tips is what that stands for. Actually, only about $50 of that was tips that I got from customers. The other $50 was money that a family member had given me, and I just kind of lumped it all into one and deposited that cash in the bank because that was a lot of cash. I didn't need that much cash. I usually keep about $20 on me just for little things here and there, and so I don't need $100. No way. Okay. So then I also worked at Keeneland, and I made $252.64 for 2 days of work. It's a very well-paying job, and that also includes the $50 tips that I got. So 2 days of work, not bad at all. Actually, that $50 tips was 3 days of work, but anyway. Then I got my next paycheck from my regular teaching job, $11.24.41 again. Diet Bet, this is where I only wanted to take $57 out, but it made me take it all out, so $157.72. More tips from working at Keeneland another week. This actually is 2 days of work, and I made $85, and I was very, very pleased with that. I actually go into that job not expecting any tips, but I hope that I can at least make up my gas money that it takes to drive an hour one way every time I go to Keeneland. So it's like 4 hours of driving on the weekends in April and October. So I definitely more than made up for that. I got paid again, $210.15. I made $75 from doing surveys online, but I also made an additional, on top of the $75 cash, I made $115 in Amazon gift cards. And I actually spent $41.43 of that. I got some books for my classroom. And that doesn't come out of my budget. I just kind of wanted to note that here, that I did spend that. I tried out the Ibotta app, and I ended up getting $23.25. I'm not sure if I'm going to really keep that. I might do a review on that. I have some opinions about it. I mean, it's not bad, but I have some opinions, so I might share those opinions at some point soon. So, and then I got paid again from Keeneland. This is for 1 day of work. That's $113.16, and then I have one more check coming, but that'll go towards my May budget, because I'll get that in May. Now that we've seen my income, let's look at the outgo. So church, $125. I spent all of that because that is fully reconciled. The last amount has come out, and I don't have to worry about that again until May. So I did not forget to leave $25 in there this time. I do have automatically $25 each week goes to church. My church does not require a tithe, so this is free will giving that they ask for. And as I get out of debt, I do intend to increase that, but right now it's $25 a week. I paid $600 to my student loans. If you look over here, this is actually where I enter things in, and the dates that my church money came out. I paid $600 towards my student loan account. I have a separate account that my student loans come out of, so I just make one payment to there, and then they automatically take out their payments. That way it's separate from my main account. They don't take out too much, and I can kind of keep control over that, and then I just make one payment, in a sense, to my other account, and then I have 3 separate student loans that take out their money automatically. So it's just much more convenient for me to have it in a separate account. Then I guess you can already see I actually was able to put $1,500 towards savings. This savings is savings for paying off my student loan debt. So right now I'm just paying minimum amounts while my student loans are in rehabilitation, and once they are out of rehabilitation, then I am going to punch them in the face with all of the savings that I have accrued over the next few months. So and that's why I have such a large amount of savings. That's actually savings for debt is what that is for, to pay off debt. It's just I'm waiting until out of rehabilitation and they are completely in good standing before I actually try to pay them down. Then I do not have any extra money in my extra checking account. So this is the third checking account that I have. And it's $250 I just keep in this account all the time. It's half of my emergency fund. And then I have sinking funds. I budgeted $260, but I was able to put $391.98 in my sinking funds, and we'll look at that down below in just a minute. I have my HP Instant Ink that comes out automatically. That's what these stars mean, that this comes out automatically. And that is a monthly fee, and I'm able to print 500 pages a month on my printer at home, color, black and white, anything, and I have pretty much as much ink as I want to use. I just have a set number of pages that I can print, which 500 is like the most that you can get, and I need it, so I print a lot. Then I have Verizon. This looks like $53.11 is probably going to be a nice steady amount for what my bill is going to be. I recently changed it. I'm now saving just over $40 a month on my phone bill, so that's awesome. And then my Netflix account is $10.99. And then Down here, these are my variable expenses. My gas, normally at 75, I upped it to 200 because of all the extra driving, but you can see I did not actually need that. So let's go over here and look at the gas. So I got gas at Kroger on the 6th and the 7th because of all the driving I was doing, and then the 11th, just a few days later, the 18th, a week later, and then just a couple days later on the 22nd. And I'm getting close to needing gas again, but I only have to drive to work 2 days this week, just normal work, and I think I can make it. If I can't make it, I'll just get gas, but I'm hoping I can make it and then not buy any gas until after Derby, just because gas prices are really expensive right now. I thought it was because of Derby, but apparently gas prices have gone up everywhere, so that's not good. Alright, and then my groceries, I normally budget 40, I budgeted 60 for this month, just because I thought that I would need a little extra food since I was working on the weekends, and turns out I actually didn't. Let me go over the rest of these real quick. I upped my teaching budget from 150, spending 150 to 200 because I knew I was going to buy some extra Scholastic books this month, and I'm glad I did, but I still stayed within the new budget, so that's good. And then restaurants, I actually upped my restaurant budget to $60 because I thought that I would be eating out a lot more because of all the extra work that I was doing, but that actually ended up being not the case at all. And then my spending money right here, I upped from 60 to 100, partly because of all the extra driving and work that I was doing, but also because there were several things that I needed, and I actually technically went over in my spending. So let's go over here and look at all of this at once. So my grocery budget, you can see this little star for Kroger, and then this star for Kroger, and this star for Kroger. That was actually all one trip, and I split the amounts up between my 3 different categories. I actually ended up spending most of that money was on my spending, but I was out of spending money. So the $5 that really was, I bought something that I needed for school, and so that really was about $5. And then this down here, really probably the groceries that I spent were probably more like $20 to $25, and the rest of it was spending personal budget items. I got shampoo, conditioner, face wash, deodorant, like a whole bunch of stuff. So that expense was really spending, but I was kind of out of money because I had gone to Lane Bryant and spent $10.86 there. I got $20 cash to put in my wallet. I always keep cash in my wallet. Around $20 is what I like to keep in there. I normally get that money from like tips that I make and things like that, but I wasn't working yet and I needed some cash, so I got $20. So that comes out of this budget, but now that that $20 is in my wallet, if I have that, in 3 months, then I don't have to budget that in this. Like, my cash is my free money, but I do keep my free money limited at the same time. But if I have to take some out rather than getting it from tips from work, then I log that. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm confusing myself here. So anyway, I got $20. I paid $59.70 for a website subscription, and then I was pretty much out of money. And then Kroger. So I just kind of put the $5.30 over here, and I actually ended up spending about $70, but that was after the rest of a gift card that I had. I still had about $20 on a gift card, so I spent a lot of money at the store that I should not have spent, but oh well. So anyway, I just kind of put most of that in groceries, and something new, if you've seen my budgets the last couple months, something new I added this month. I added this little left-in budget for each section here, just so that I don't have to go all the way over to here and look. It's just easier for me to see it, so I like having that there. So you can see I still had $20 about $20 left in my budget here. I had $82 left in my gas budget, but that will actually be going down. It won't be $200 anymore. And then I had $0 left in my budget for groceries. I had $4 left in spending, technically, not really. And then restaurants, I went to Culver's, which that was just this past week, and I actually only spent $6 of that, but my brother gave me a 20 because he wanted me to get him some food since I was getting food, and I took his 20, I gave him 10, his food cost 10, so I gave him a 10 that I had in my purse for change, and kept his 20, and then paid for the whole thing on my card, so it comes out as $16.09 because that's the total amount that I paid, but now I have an extra 20 in my purse, so that's nice, I guess. So my total income, $32.66.80. That is awesome. My planned budget was $237 over, but I knew that I would make way more than that from Keeneland, and I actually didn't even use all of that extra money, so probably not even half of that did I use, which is great. My extra income for the month was $1,017.98, so that's exciting too. Let's look at my sinking funds. So one other thing that I've also changed is I realigned the total amount that's in the fund. It's on the left side if it is fully funded, and here's my fully funded amounts. So my fully funded emergency fund is $500. I have $250 in one account and $250 in another account, and that totals $500. So this is all a sinking funds account, and I have one account, which is right here, sinking funds. This is one account that I have with Capital One 360. You can have separate savings accounts, which is fine and is great if your mind works that way, but I'm fine with just having one account and then splitting it up on my own here in a spreadsheet. So I have, in this account, I have $70 to go towards Progressive that started out. So after this month, I now have, I actually have more than all of this because I was able to add more, but so by the end of the month, I had over $140. Gifts, I actually spent over here, I spent $21.19 for my dad's birthday, and that came out of my gifts fund. I have $200 up to now $275 in my car repair and replacement fund, which I need an oil change really bad, so I need to use some of that soon, but that's going to be a May expense. I have $45 in my clothing budget. Now it'll be $60. The reason why I have a clothing budget is because even though I have a lot of clothes, I am also on a weight loss journey, and eventually I'm going to need to buy new clothes as my clothes become too big. So I'm just kind of saving up for that to eventually have. Plus, you know, as time goes on, you know, no matter if you're losing and gaining weight or not, clothes wear out, and you're going to need to replace some things sometimes, and so that's just the way it goes. Alright, I have $300 in my, and it's fully funded, in my dues for the union and my racing license that I have to have in order to work at the horse race track, and I have $200 now, $225 in my medical fund, which I have that all the way up to $500 because I do not have any vision insurance, and so I want that to be kind of high. Other than that, I'm pretty healthy, and my copays are not that expensive, but you never know what will happen, so it's just nice to know that I have some money just in case I need it. I also am saving for a new laptop because this one, it's working hard. It's holding on so far, but it's working hard, and it's over 5 years old, so it's time to save for a new one. So I have $125, $150 now for that. My goal is $1,000. It's going to be a while. If this computer lasts that long. Lucy is $200 for like her annual shots and things like that. And then just anything else that she needs personally, I just have $200 for her. and that is currently fully funded. And then I have this extra change just because I like nice round numbers like they are all over here, and anything just kind of left over I put in my extra change. I'm still deciding whether I should, like, once I reach $5-10 in my extra change, should I disperse it over here or just have extra change just on the side, just to save it up and see how quickly it can accumulate. So I don't know, I haven't decided. So for right now it's just accumulating, and I'll decide what to do with it later. Probably it will go to debt once I actually start paying aggressively on my debt. Alright, so the rest of my budget here, oh, I should go this way. The rest of my budget here, my bank, I have $350 that I'm keeping in my bank for the next month. $250 of that is my half of my emergency fund, and the other $100 is for future diabetes. And then I was able to put, this is my student loans account. I just keep track of when I add money, and once it clears, then I clear this number and take that number off, and then when money comes out, then I do the same thing. And this is how much my student loan payments, all three, are. It's $574. This is how much will be left in my account if I don't add anything to it next month. So I like having this extra cushion in there just in case I can't contribute to it, or just in case they want to take too much or something like that. So I just like that safety net. My extra checking account is one of my Capital One account, 360 accounts, and this one is the other half of my emergency fund. I just keep $250 in there. And I like having this account because I can easily transfer my savings or my sinking funds over into this account, and it's available right away with my debit card or with that bank. So that's why I have this account as well. And I like the Capital One 360. I highly recommend them. They have great interest-bearing accounts with a great rates, like 1% interest that accrues, which is really, really nice, because most places it's like 0.01% maybe. My other two checking accounts, I get nothing. The checking account's less. I don't know how much it is, but the savings accounts are 1% interest, which is really, really nice. So I started out with $1274.42. I was able to add $390.92, and now I have $1,665.34 in my sinking funds account. So, of course, more than what I talked about up here. I guess this one compared to that one, that's more. And then I was able to put $1,500 in my extra savings account. And so now I have $2,500 ready to punch my loans in the face when they're ready to be punched. So I'm just waiting them out for right now. So that is it. That is my budget for the month of April. I'd like to know what you think down below in the comments. Tell me what you think about my budget, how I'm doing, staying on track, and all of that. Give me a like, and also, if you are not already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel to follow me on this journey, as well as my weight loss journey. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.